A while back, I asked y'all to share the names of people you would like to see me fictionally unalive. This is an installment in that series. It's called Death by Cat, and it's a little gory. Jared put his head down between his knees and tried to breathe silently. His heart pounded, and he worried that his breath was too loud, loud enough for her to hear. The earth smelled damp and musty. It stank like a grave, and he couldn't stop himself from trembling. He had already been buried. He heard it, the heavy, padding footsteps. No way an animal that large could move silently, its feet crackling the small leaves and twigs of the desert floor. Jarrett curled in on himself. His only chance was to hide. He didn't know how well she could smell. Between his knees, he could see his gun lying where he had dropped it. It was only 10 feet away, but it may as well have been on the moon. He had paid almost 10 grand for the Mauser 98 Magnum, and now it lay in the dust, useless. So stupid. He hid in a tall stand of elephant grass, which would part before that beast like paper if she figured out where he was. It was his only bet. She could climb and run faster than he could, but if he could hide until his guide figured out where he was, maybe. His wife had gifted him this trip for his 40th birthday, big game hunting in Namibia. He had signed the waiver without a qualm. If he died, she got nothing. But who died on safari in Africa? Only idiots. Tears rolled down Jarrett's nose. He couldn't control them, but he kept his breathing quiet. How long until that stupid guide figured out he was in trouble? The cat had come out of nowhere, emerging from the tall grass like a monster in a fairy tale, all teeth and killing claws, the most dangerous predator on land. Except man, of course. Jarrett had been banking on that, but she had been so silent, so sudden. She had turned on speed effortlessly, making him stumble back, dropping the gun. He had barely escaped her first charge, had managed to dart around the stand of grass and inside, out of sight. The wind rustled the fronds overhead, and Jarrett tried to become one with the plants. If he stayed still enough, she would go away. She appeared through the green of the grass like a nightmare. Jarrett looked directly into her golden eyes. Flecks of dust caught in her long eyelashes and white whiskers. He saw himself reflected in her round pupils. He looked like a coward, sniveling and whimpering. Her paw, giant and velvet and full of death, swiped at him, and the skin of his chest opened in a gush of warmth. He screamed. She laid her ears down at the sound, and her muzzle snarled up over teeth that looked as long as his forearm. He felt those teeth slide into his throat, felt his flesh rip and tear. He was still alive, looking up at the perfect blue sky, when the lion tore into the softness of his stomach.